You feeling good?
Ready to go.
The girls looking good?
The girls are looking good. Lift these titties up, you know what I'm saying? Hey.
Y'all, if you think that I'm over the top, you ain't seen nothing yet, honey.
Oh,
This is
I love
Roxy.
you, MJ. Love you, bro. Happy to be making a video with you. Like, seriously, this is why I love social media, because you meet amazing people like you. I was like, this dude is animated, he's hilarious, you speak the truth. I literally, there's few people that you can watch their videos and actually watch them from beginning to end.
Am I one of those people?
You are one of those people that when I watch your videos, I'm like, MJ is speaking the truth. He's giving the real tips, and I'm like, I'm hooked. I love your videos.
I do the best I can. I love you to death. And you know, let me tell you about Roxy. So if you don't follow her right now. Okay, what's your hashtag?
My
handle.
My handle is Roxy's World, because you know it's my world, baby.
Yes, indeed.
I understand me in my world.
And you've been sharing me on your Snapchat. And I was like, oh, this is absolutely wonderful. So when I found out you were in LA and I'm in LA, I was like, we need to film together.
Yes.
And we're gonna talk about a subject that is near and dear to both of us while we have our food.
Ooh, thank you for this, by the way.
course.
I love to eat.
We're talking about emotionally unavailable men. Unhealed men.
Unhealed men. There's a lot of unhealed women too.
True.
But you know, what is this?
This is mango chicken.
Ooh.
With Brussels sprouts.
Oh my God. I'm about the Brussels sprout life.
I personally need a little hot sauce. Okay. But because I've had my heart broken by emotionally unavailable men who come to you acting as if they are ready for more. They sell themselves as ready for more. And then once you start to get hooked in, they become Mr. Ghost, Mr. Unavailable. And then treat you like you the crazy one, like you expecting more. Like you expecting too much.
I've had some encounters with unavailable men, emotionally unavailable men. And you know what I think it comes down to?
What?
I think it really comes down to men and women that haven't healed. Men get really caught up in situations like if a woman cheats on them, they hold on to that forever, right? If their father wasn't available in their life, that we live in a really fatherless nation. And as much as we want to believe it, understand it, a lot of our men nowadays have been so affected by that. And it's like, how are they supposed to know right from wrong or left to right when they never really had a father to guide them? But still, you can't use that as an excuse for the rest of your life.
You're more generous than I am.
A jerk.
So I think some of them are unhealed, I agree. But I think some of them literally are narcissists.
Yes, a lot of them are.
Revolves around them. I don't think they're trying to walk around hurting people, but I do think that that they are literally living in a space where it's about them. They don't care about how you're impacted. It's only about what they want. And
yeah, that's messed up, man.
It really is. I remember I dealt with an emotionally unavailable man. I've talked about him before. All right, but today I'm going to give him a different name. We were talking about this earlier.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna call him Devil Donnie. All right, Devil Donnie, because he had some good old.
And let me tell you, some of these emotionally unavailable men, they know what they're working with.
That's what I got to do.
You know what I'm saying? They got that good, and you just like, God, like why? How could you put it down so good, but yet you're so emotionally unavailable? You may be hiding something. You may have another life. You may have a girl pregnant at home. You know, and you're out there really, really, truly messing. I've had experiences like that where like I've been single now for 2 years, right? By choice, because I needed to heal.
Yeah, that's good.
I really needed to heal. I was that notorious relationship hopper girl.
Oh, me too.
That it was like, I would get out of a long-term relationship, I would be single for 1 month, I already had the next one on my radar, and I was like, that was my cycle. That was my way of doing things, until one day I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, Roxy, you gotta cut it out. You gotta stop, because what are you doing? You know what I mean? You're not even really, you don't even know who these guys are. You're not, I'm getting to know them as I've already moved in with them. You know what I mean? And
I've done that.
I think a lot of women can relate to that. Like, we're just so quick at jumping the rope without really knowing your credit score. You know, that's like a real valid question nowadays when you go out with somebody. Like, what is your credit score? Because that says a lot about the type of man you are. Are you responsible with your responsibilities? Or do you not care?
When I go out with you, one of my first date questions are you single? And if they say yes, then I say, is there anyone else who would be offended by you being out with me?
Ooh, I gotta start asking that question. This is one of my questions, right? How long ago was your last relationship?
Ooh, tell me more about that.
Okay, how long ago was your last relationship? Oh, you know what? I just got out of a relationship and it was a 3-year on and off relationship. What is an on and off relationship?
That means it was dysfunctional.
What is on and off? It's like you're either on or you're off.
And my question is, are you meeting me during an off period because there's another on that's about to happen?
Exactly.
So
and you know those on periods is when you go back to that person and your sex is off the hook.
Yeah.
Because you miss each other, and that's in those instances. That's when that woman could get pregnant. You know what I mean? And then you're over here building feelings for this person, while this guy, you caught him at an off season. He goes back to his on season, and then what happened to your heart and your feelings? Yeah.
I want y'all to comment below if you've ever had an experience with an emotionally unavailable man or woman for that matter. And just comment below if you want to detail how you felt about what the situation was. I had a situation. This was Devil Donnie. I met him. It was so good, Roxy.
Oh my God.
It was so good. I mean, it was I'm not going to give him credit as being the best ever, but he was certainly near the top of the list. And I got hooked in emotionally. He told me everything I wanted to hear. We spent a lot of time together. And
that's another thing, like they're emotionally unavailable and they got so much time for you. Then it's just like, how do you have so much time?
You know what it is? I think they want to be available, and then they hit a certain point where you start to commit and you start to feel connected, and then when you start to feel connected, they run. They're runners. And then he did that to me. Sat there and told me, how about we just be friends and see other people? You know, I'm thinking he's going to commit. We're sitting on the couch and he's like, baby, let's have a conversation. You know, what if we, you know, keep it calm, keep it light, and see other people? I was devastated. And I was like, what's going on? He had just got out of a relationship.
Yeah.
And he's basically still dealing with his ex.
Yeah, and you know what? Another warning sign for a man that's emotionally unavailable, or a woman, but you know, we're talking about men in this instance, is a man that doesn't communicate clearly. Seriously. When a man shuts down and doesn't understand, because if you're in it and you're opening yourself up, like literally, like I had a situation where I opened myself up like a clam. I was just like open, ready to feel, to love. He knew it. I thought he was too. My God, was I so wrong, you know?
How did you learn that you were wrong?
Because, how did I learn that I was wrong? Because his on and off situation ended up being back on because the girl that he was seeing before me turned out telling him, I'm pregnant with your kid. Yeah. Yes.
So he was dealing with both of y'all at the same time.
Well, no. Supposedly he was done with that situation, and supposedly he was surprised about this situation too. And listen, I'm not gonna say that there aren't scandalous women that are out there trying to set dudes up and saying, hey, I'm pregnant with your kid.
Maybe it's a business. It's for a lot of folks.
You know what? It could have really been that, right? But it really threw me out of a loop. I was just like, what? Like, I thought you were done with that.
He could have very well said, she's pregnant. She got pregnant before we met, blah, 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 whatever. It was what it was. I still want to commit and connect to you.
Right? That's exactly what I thought. So when he didn't have that approach towards me,
would you still want to be committed to him?
Yes, I would have I'm that girl, ride or die. You know, I really had a great
it is what it is.
soul connection with this guy. But I would have rocked with you if you would have spoke to me honestly, openly, and from the heart, and proved it with your actions. Because one thing is just talking about it. Another thing is actually saying, listen, shit happens. She did get pregnant. It wasn't intentional, but I'm not gonna be with her. I wanna be with you, and let's rock. Like, I would have been willing to do that, but when somebody just shuts down communication and
he shut it down.
Shut it down.
What do you mean by shut down communication?
Meaning like he wasn't communicating anything to me. He wasn't telling me, hey, we went to the doctor, we saw the ultrasound. I was getting fed nothing. And so you
clearly are interested because you're in this man's life. You're falling for him. You want to know.
And he went from being a great communicator with me to shutting down. So that is a real good indication, ladies and gentlemen. If you are talking to somebody and the communication is great, everything feels great, and then all of a sudden this person shuts down because they know that they haven't been 100% honest with you, right? So you're just like, all this communication that used to happen before, what happened to that?
You know, so another.
You know what? You haven't been honest. you haven't been honest about something, and
people
that's why you're shutting down.
when they're being dishonest, and people shut down when the truth that they have to share is not a pleasant truth, and they're afraid of your reaction, or they're afraid of having to face the reaction, because it's not about your reaction, they're just afraid of having to deal with anyone's reaction to it. I'll tell you another sign that I recognize when someone is emotionally unavailable is that their feelings are all over the place. On one day they go to, I love you to death, I love you to death, I want to be with you, y'all having good pillow talk, y'all spending time together, and then the next day it's, he was good as chop suey. Like their feelings are always all over the place. They never can be consistent. And that's emotional unavailability. Sometimes we think of emotional unavailability as somebody who doesn't open up ever. Emotional availability, healthy emotional availability is, do they have consistency in their emotions? I think that it can be almost toxic for you when you are dealing with someone and you don't know what they feel. On one day they're feeling this about you, and the next day they're feeling that about you, and you are all over the place, and because you love them, initially you're trying to do what you need to do to make it work. It's like, well, what can I do differently? What can we do differently? How can we make this work? And so you're all over the place. You're on an emotional roller coaster because they're on an emotional roller coaster. Yep. And to me, that is, when you feel like you're on an emotional roller coaster with anyone, that is the time to get off, because I will say, I don't believe that love is always easy, but I think that love is reliable.
Yeah.
I know I can rely on your feelings.
Yeah, 100%. And you're right. When that person goes onto an emotional roller coaster, you do too, right? And the only way to take your power back when it comes to stepping away from an emotionally unavailable man, because a man will take you on that roller coaster. So will a woman, right? If you so choose to stay on that roller coaster is up to you. You know, in my case, I had to get off the roller coaster.
What was your final story? Say, I gotta get off this. This sounds like this is a hard situation.
It was a hard situation, but in this case, I had to get off this roller coaster because I work on myself a lot, you know. And it's like, ladies and gentlemen that are watching this, like, if we're, you know, we're not teenagers anymore, you know. So it's like you're trying to find that quality connection with somebody. You want to build a life with somebody. You're not trying to, every time we have a conversation, I'm trying to pull teeth. What? Child, no. You know what I mean? Like, they need to learn.
I'm too old to pull teeth, baby.
I'm not trying to teach you how to communicate. I'm not trying to work on a project. You know what I mean? Like, I did that in college and high school. I want you to be whole, and I want you to show up to a relationship fully present and available for me, right? And it just sucks because there are women like me, men like you, that show up. We're fully available to love in a healthy kind of love. And it's like, how do we attract emotionally unavailable people? You know how I think? How do we attract that?
I'm gonna tell you,
oh my God.
I figured this out for myself, how I kept attracting them. I kept attracting emotionally unavailable men because of the fact that there was that part of me that we all have, which is perfectly healthy and normal, where we are yearning for a long-term partner. We're yearning for that companionship. We're yearning for a relationship, especially if you've ever been in a relationship. You know how beautiful they are.
They are. I love love.
I love it too. I fall hard. I love it. But the thing is, when we are so open and we want it, but we don't pace ourselves, so we didn't end up finding someone. Because I think everything is revealed with time. And so you have to give everyone time. I don't care how perfect they seem. You have to give them time and give yourself time, because in the beginning, your infatuation and everything is high. You're going to see this person through. Especially if the D is good. Oh my God. Oh my God. Especially that could blind you. Baby, it blinds you. It hypnotizes you. Good.
It makes you speak in tongues.
It does all the above. And so for me, I've learned to pace myself, because inevitably, you always end up seeing who they really are. Inevitably. So like, what does pacing myself look like? Pacing myself looks like this. Okay? Because see, if you get into my snatch, that's the connection to my heart. So I have to slow down on that, because I'm very sexual. I love it. I love good sex. And the more I like you, the more I want to have that with you. But so I have to force myself, literally. Like, I can't go to your house. You really can't come to my house.
Somebody told me I need to read the book The Wait with
girl, we may need to read it together.
Yeah. It's about Devon Franklin and his wife Megan Good, and they chose to not have sex until they got married.
Could you do that?
You know what? I think that's why I've been resisting not reading that book, because I'm like, okay, how are you supposed to have sex with somebody until you get married?
I'm not doing that.
What if you test it out and you don't like it and you're already married to this person?
I know a girl who did that. She waited for over 2 years to marry a man. I think it was 2 years. They didn't have sex at all. Finally, they get married.
She was disappointed. You're lying.
Not only is she disappointed, but his motivation to wait, because I don't think most men are wanting to wait. His motivation to wait was because he turned out to be gay.
So it worked for him.
Yeah.
For him, it worked.
Exactly. It was buying him time and getting her committed. Honey.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. I need to, there's a lot that the stroke tells a story.
Absolutely.
I need the stroke,
My
baby.
God.
I don't know if I'll wait until marriage, but I think a solid 60 days-ish, that's hard if you really like him.
Yeah.
How long would you wait? I want you to comment below. If you are open to the idea of waiting to have sex with someone who you are getting
Maybe we gotta practice that, MJ, in 2020.
What we gonna do?
We gotta practice, like, you know, the other day, I don't know if I was listening to something or if I was reading something about if you get a new job, you have to wait 30 days to get benefits. I'm sorry, no. 90 days to get benefits.
Some of them are like that, yeah.
It's like a 3-month probation period. You're starting, then after the 3 months, they offer you your benefits. Medical, dental, 401k. And so it was, I think Steve Harvey was saying this actually. And he was saying, women, you gotta be the same way. Why are you gonna let a man get all the benefits when he hasn't even worked for it? And I was like, that's a great comparison.
It's a great comparison.
Why am I gonna give you all the benefits and everything when you haven't worked for it? So I really think that whoever's watching this video, like, we need to really implement this, because if you're like MJ and me, we're lovers and we know that about ourselves.
Yes,
and I think that's why I love Jennifer Lopez, because I've always known her for like her love.
Her story is my story.
Yeah, like we love, and shout out to everybody that loves love and isn't, because I don't get jaded by love. I'm not like, oh, F men and this and that. I'm open every single time. And I'm thankful that I have that quality. Because I know women that are really
shut down and they can't receive love. That's the one thing about being shut down, is what about when it comes along?
That's what I'm saying.
For you. So are we saying, are we saying 90 days, or what are we saying?
I mean, I'm just saying that we have to for sure pace ourselves. Okay. Sex is good. We all love sex. I've never met a person that doesn't like it. I mean, but we might like it a little extra.
Yeah.
You know? And it's okay. It's okay. You know, we're gonna make our partners happy.
Yes, indeed, darling. We come with miles and experience.
All about the stroke. No, but seriously, but I definitely have to pace myself. And you know what? It's gonna make that person value us. It's gonna make us show ourselves that we have that self-discipline. Yeah. You know, because we have to. Like, they can't get the goodies that quick.
You're right.
They can't. Like, it's just, you know,
it's never worked out well for me to give it that quick. So it's like,
so we gotta start doing things opposite.
Yeah, like what is it? Insanity is doing the same things
over and over again.
So I'm thinking about this. I'm like, okay, well, and when I'm single, I ain't really doing nothing no way. So it's not like I need it every day. You know what I mean? So
we gotta pace ourselves.
Okay, so that's one way. We'll pace ourselves, so that we sexually will pace ourselves. How do we emotionally pace ourselves?
I mean, I feel like in 3 months, I mean, unless the man or the woman is a great actor, in 3 months of no sex,
right?
Really vibing, getting to know each other.
Yeah.
In 3 months, we should really be able to see like what you're about. Like, I really think I'm gonna make that a new rule for me. The 3-month rule of no sex, and I'm really and I don't know if this would even work, of like letting this man or woman know, like, look, for 3 months, I'm just vibing with you. Don't
tell them up front.
Like, I don't know, is that a good strategy to use? If I tell you up front, like, I'm not having sex with you for 3 months.
I've done that with guys.
Will you really see the intention of a man if you do tell him straight up, like, look, don't try it, because we could kiss.
Some guys may try hard.
But God, that's the thing, you know, like, once you kiss, it could lead to other things.
You have your boundaries. So here's my advice on the waiting thing. When you go on a date with somebody, or you're gonna spend time with them, take care of yourself before you go.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Take care of yourself before you go. Like, take care of you, that way you're not.
I'll tell you one thing, I've learned being a single woman that your vibrator is your best friend, right? And if you don't know your spots that are gonna make you climax, you can't expect a man to know either, right? But
they have to be taught.
I'm at a phase in my life where I'd rather pleasure myself with my vibrator than just go give up the cookie to anybody. Like,
I think it is safer too.
And you know what? Listen, ladies, and I'm not even judging. If you're having your hoe out days, listen, hoe out.
Have a good time.
Hoe out 2020, if that's your motto. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, I'm not in that space anymore where I just want to give anybody the cookie. To me, it's like, I've read books on sacred sexual energy. And
you exchange energy.
Like, you exchange energy, and you know what? Especially when you've had quality sexual energy experiences. When it's been elevated, you're just like, oh my gosh, like how am I gonna?
It touches your soul.
It touches your soul.
And the worst is having quality soul touching sex with the wrong man.
Oh,
baby!
God. I need a shot of tequila.
It should be a law against that. Like,
that's the risk in love. That's the risk in love. You have to open yourself up, and you gotta risk getting your heart broken every single time.
Yeah.
And you know what, MJ? I'm a big believer that anybody that watches your videos, and because you know, I really feel like when you talk, you come from the heart. You do. I love that about you. You can feel it. Trust me, have no doubt about it. You can feel it. But it's like you gotta try. And if you're gonna get your heart broken, you know what I mean? You're probably gonna get your heart broken more times than you're gonna fall in love.
It is. Well, that's how it goes.
That's how it goes. And you know what? I'm okay with that because I know one day I'm gonna get it right.
Yeah, you know what I love about the idea of waiting is this, and I did not think I would ever be a proponent of waiting, but today my mind is changing on this. But what I like about the idea of waiting is that at the very least, there's only but so close you're gonna get to that person, so that if they show you that they are not out for your good, or y'all are not compatible, at least you're not as invested. I don't mind us if it doesn't go forward. Okay, that's not the end of the world, but I don't want to figure that out after I've given you myself, given you my body, giving you all this, brought you around my friends, brought you around family. At this point, I won't even talk to family too much about a guy just yet until I really am into them, because I don't want to hear their feedback one way or the other, because that can make me more attached.
Yeah, and you know what? That's another thing we gotta pace ourselves on, because sometimes we could feel like we met a man and he's the one, and our entire family meets him, and then they're like, so what happened with what's his name? And you know, and then they keep bringing him up, and you're just like, oh my God, now I gotta tell my family what happened, and this is what happened, and this is what I found out. It's just like, we gotta pace ourselves when it comes to our body, and we gotta pace ourselves when it comes to allowing men and women to meet our families, because hey, family is like where it's at.
It's everything.
You know, or especially if your family meets a man or a woman and they love them, and they're like, this is gonna be the one for you, and things don't work out. Yeah. You're still constantly get reminded. So we just gotta pace ourselves.
When they tell you it, that's what gets me, is when they tell me, because my best friend, he does this sometimes, and I love you, I love you to death. But when he meets a guy like a child, and we jokingly say that's when he knows we think someone's the guy for me. He says that's Stedman, like Oprah's husband.
Yes,
he says, that's Stedman, baby, that's Stedman. And I'd be like, for real, you think so? And then when it don't work out, I'd be like, oh, I'd be falling apart. So I appreciate it. But just know, like, in my mind goes, like, I have to keep myself from rushing in my own head.
Oh my God, you're like my twin soul.
But kindred spirits, like, because I be rushing in my head.
Because we love love, but that's a beautiful quality to have, MJ. Like, I wouldn't want to be any other way, because I know a lot of salty men and women, and I'm like, man, you can't get love. You can't get love. They don't even let it even seep in through the cracks, because they're so traumatized, and they're like, nah, well, you know, that person did me dirty, and it's just like, okay, and you're probably gonna get done dirty again.
But you know what I thought about? One of my friends told me this years ago, and it's always stuck with me. I was going through a really bad broken heart, and I just feel so bad. And he says, well, just know this. He says, the fact that your heart can be broken at this level, that you can feel this deeply, is a reflection that you can feel deeply. So it's the deeper your heartache, the deeper you can feel joy and commitment when the right man comes along. So don't despise the heartache. Look at the heartache as a reminder of the level of feelings you're capable of for the next one who's actually gonna treat you better.
Ooh,
wasn't that good?
I received that. You know, I received that, because eventually we're gonna get it right. You know, so there's a lot of people that look at being single as a very negative thing. They're like, oh, you know, I say, you know, embrace it. Like, my 2 years of being single have been some of the most amazing, self-revealing years for myself, of like, this is what I like in a partner, this is what I don't like in a partner, this is what I want a partner to bring to the table, because I can bring that to the table. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a homeowner, so I want the dude that I'm with to own a home. Like,
a homeowner in LA, shout that shit out. That ain't easy.
It ain't easy, and it's just like, and so you're gonna tell me that I'm wrong for expecting a man to want to own his home because I do? No.
You know what I say? I look at my lifestyle. I don't have an over-the-top lifestyle. I have a comfortable lifestyle for me, but I say, look at my lifestyle. This is my baseline. So you have to be able to meet me here or above. because I worked too hard to get to this point, and I'm not here to drag you along with me. But the other piece of it is not about the money. It's about, I have found, especially with masculine energy men, if they don't feel like they can contribute meaningfully to your life, even sometimes financially, it builds resentment in them. And sometimes it can build self-sabotaging behavior. Some men out here cheating and stuff like that on good women because the fact is that they don't feel that they're good enough, so it's self-sabotaging behavior. So it's not like their success is their fault or that's a bad thing, but my point is you have to meet people who are equally yoked in terms of relationships because there's a lot of issues that can come out of it.
Yeah, you know, one of my boyfriends broke up with me. He broke up with me, he was younger than me, but he broke up with me because he told me, I always feel like you're 10 steps ahead of me. And I don't feel like I'm that man that is a good provider. I don't feel like I'm done working on me. But you know, I could respect a man like that too, that could speak, that could at least speak clearly to me versus going out there and cheating on me and making a fool out of me. He was just like, listen, like you're just always ahead of the game. And ladies, don't make yourself less and don't shrink yourself because the man that you're with can't handle your greatness, your hustle, your drive, your ambition, because there's women that will actually shrink their desires, their visions. They'll shrink it just because they're like, but he's the one, but he's not the one. Because if you feel like you gotta shrink yourself,
he's not the one.
He's not the one. So
you have to dim your light.
Ladies and gentlemen, do not dim your light. Do not make yourself less. Do not shrink yourself. Do not lower yourself because the person that you're with happens to not be able to catch up. That is opposite of what, we're not going backwards.
No.
We're going forward.
If a man tells me anything about like you're doing too much or you know when they say this, I feel like I'm not good enough for you. Why would you want somebody like me? I used to try to convince them like no baby. Now I feel like this. If you say I think you may be too good for me, I think in my head I am.
I
actually am because you feel that way. If that's your belief, it's so crazy because I could deal with a man making more money than me. That's not a problem. I have more feminine energy. So for me, I don't value myself based on the amount of money I have compared to my partner.
Yeah.
You can make 1,000 times more than me. I am so fine with that. I would love that. Actually, I would prefer that.
I prefer that too. You know what I mean? Seriously.
It's not a problem for me.
Not a problem at all.
But it's different when you're dealing with masculine energy. It takes a very mature masculine energy man to deal with you making more. Let me ask you this, because you are successful. You've been successful for some time now. With greater success, has it limited your dating options more?
Yes.
Yeah.
It has. And you know what? My thing is this, is like I work on myself a lot spiritually. And now that I'm single, like I have a lot more self-awareness of myself. And so I actually really find it that there's like a lot of great men out there with a lot of potential, but I also like a man that is spiritually in tune with who he is.
Yeah.
That has some type of spiritual path. I'm not saying you gotta go do yoga with me, you gotta chant, you gotta meditate, but like believe in something greater than just you. I love when a man is open to go do yoga with me or tells me, hey, you know what, like I'm reading this book. Like that's the older I get, the more I realize like spiritual connection is important too.
Yeah.
It's not just about you being fine, driving a nice car, owning a home, having a great career. Like what gives you that strength every morning when you wake up?
What I love about spiritual connection and being dedicated to self-improvement is that when that's the case, with your partner, what ends up happening is when you all go through things, is you will go through something. It doesn't have to be devastating, but you will go through things. Yeah. At the very least, I know that you have tools that you can access to help you get through this. If you have no sense of spirituality, if you have no sense of self-care, if you have no sense of that, and you just sort of just going through life day to day, and it's just about you.
Yeah.
I fear that when we go through something, and I have to go within so that I can build myself up to get through this and everything like that, we're not going to be equally yoked. I'm going to end up outgrowing you, and you're not going to have the tools to be able to match me where I'm at. I've done the whole thing of I'm carrying the whole relationship myself emotionally. Gosh. I got to fix this. I got to fix you. That is draining. That is really draining. It's draining. And I said I will never do that again. I don't. So if my thing is this. You gotta have some kind of spiritual life in terms of within yourself to know that you are bigger than what you see. Also, for me, if he's never been to therapy, at least be willing to go. If we were to need this, would you be willing to go? Yes. Because I've met a guy and he said, I said something about therapy. Oh, I don't know, I never do that. That sounds crazy. How could I be with you? Because inevitably, every good relationship, at some point, you may need to talk with a couples counselor.
Listen, I'm forever prescribing therapy to everybody. I'm like, go see a therapist. You know, like it's so taboo for some reason. I don't know why. I think there's even insurances that cover it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, hello, like it's covered. But my thing is like, yeah, you gotta, you know, I gotta tell you, I met a guy, and he's the son of pastors. His mother and his father are pastors. And I said, wow, like I think it's pretty sexy when a man could pray with you, right?
Yeah.
I find that because I love God, you know, like hallelujah. And I said, will you pray with me? He was like, I will pray for you before we get off this call. And he prayed for me, and let me tell you something, MJ, I thought that was so sexy. Like when a man could pray with you, I was just like, oh my God, like it turns me on.
It's a different level of
so
bonding.
Sexy.
No, see, I was in the opposite because I felt so bad. So I was on a date recently, and I'm sitting there across the table. The food comes out. Now here's one thing about me. I grew up in the church, everything like that. I don't always bless my food. It's not my first thought, because when I was a kid, I always thought to myself, God has already blessed this. I'm good. It's not like I'm gonna hit botulism just because I forgot to pray over the food. So I always trusted that I was taken care of. So I just always would eat. And when we're sitting there, the food comes, and y'all see how I eat on camera. I eat.
Yeah,
so the food
you
comes,
go
I'm
in,
like, I go in. And I'm like, and then he's like, would you mind if we pray together? I was like, okay. And then he reaches his
Isn't that
hands
attractive
up.
though?
Oh my God.
Right?
Oh my God. I felt so
Take
good.
notes, fellas, because we like this.
I was like, sure. Yes, we can. I'm sitting there looking at him the whole time while he's praying. And I'm like, oh, I like this one. But yes, I agree with you.
It's just a beautiful way of bonding, and like to me, the way a man prays says a lot about him. And I was like, you know what? So back to me being single, like as a single woman now, I know what's gonna work for me and what's not gonna work for me. Does it mean that my standards are like way up here and you gotta have this and you gotta have that? It just means that I know me a lot better. And so therefore, since I know me, I know what's gonna work for me. And I know what's not gonna work for me. And I can smell the bullshit 5 miles away. I'm just like, really? No. So give me straight up answers. Learn how to communicate. Like, what is so hard about communicating? It shouldn't be hard to communicate when you're an honest person. When you're not honest, that's when communication becomes hard.
Oh, it breaks down really fast, the vague answers. I remember one guy told me, this is a red flag if a man ever tells you this or a woman ever tells you this. I said, why are you talking about that? He says, because you didn't ask.
Ooh,
that's a red flag.
I'm gonna tell you another red flag that I didn't put together until recently. And you know what? It's probably like, damn, you know, I just didn't think of it. But when a man only wants to talk to you on WhatsApp.
Tell me, why is that? Why is that?
Because it's an app that is not like on the main page of your phone, and you could literally get the WhatsApp application and put it in a folder.
So no one will see it.
So nobody will ever see it, but yeah, you can have full conversations. You can do video calls. You can do video calls. You could FaceTime. You could everything. Like a text. Recorded notes, everything except it's an external app. You could put it away in a folder. So ladies, if you ever want to catch your man cheating, make sure you look at his WhatsApp.
Yeah, log it.
Like, make sure you find it and see who he's talking to on that app. Are
you above going into your man's phone?
I'm above that. I don't do that when I date a man. You know what? The most I've done, because most dudes lock their phone, the most I've done is if the phone goes off, I'll like look over and I'll
see what's on the screen.
I'll see what's on the screen, but as far as like breaking into it, I'm not that good. So I'm like, what's your code? You know,
you don't know their code?
I don't know their code. Like,
oh girl, is
that like a must? Like, you're supposed to know your man.
You need to know your man's code. Look out for. So here's my thing.
Why though?
Because here's my thing. If I'm dating a guy, I'm on my phone a lot, and I recognize that some people have trust issues, right?
Yes.
I recognize we all got past, we all been through things. So if I'm in a relationship, I will give you my phone code just so you know. Now that doesn't mean I need you to use it, but I will give, and we have to be in a relationship. I have yours, I mean you have mine, I should have yours. And my whole logic is this: if something were to happen, you can go on my phone. Feel free, if you just, because if I'm driving like, oh babe, open the phone and go to this, or text this person.
Yeah, yes.
And so I have it in my back pocket. It's like a nuclear bomb. It's there. I don't want to use it, but I'm not above it. I am not above it, because I had done it where I caught a guy, we were in bed together. Roxy.
Okay.
We're in bed.
Oh my God.
And then the phone
So many people get caught on the phone.
And the phone buzzed, and I looked over like, who's that buzzing? It was late at night. He opens his screen. I see somebody sending him some news.
Ooh.
And then he closes it real fast. And then I could see the bubbles that they'd already had a conversation before. And I said, open it up again. And he's like, no, it's nothing, it's nothing. He's like, this is just somebody from the past. So they're sending you random news now. So fast forward, I was like, he kept on denying it. So when he went to bed that night, because I already get the phone password.
Oh, you're like, I'm staying up.
Because this is not my safety. We are having sex. And
Yes.
I can't go on your word at this point. At the point that I'm not willing to go into your phone unless I know.
Unless it's necessary.
Necessary.
Yeah.
So I do think that you should have your phone password, the man's phone password. There was a picture of Beyonce. If I can put it up, I'll put it up. Where her and Jay-Z was sitting at a basketball game. And he was texting and she was like
that
this.
was me. I'm not gonna lie. I've done that. I've been like, who that?
Yeah, who's texting us, babe?
Yes.
I'm not above it because but see, here's what I do. I'm the kind of guy where if I'm on the phone, I will gently tell you who it is. I'm like, oh yeah, so-and-so just texted me. Oh my God, ain't that crazy? I do little things.
To make you feel secure.
Absolutely, especially when you're just starting to date somebody. I need you to know, because you have to think about this. You're a beautiful, successful woman. I'm a handsome, successful guy. Yeah. And so with that said, even the most secure person still is going to, in the beginning, be like, I bet you got people coming at you. So I do little things just
to make them feel secure, to make them feel reassured. That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
But I'm not really that girl. I heard Kim Kardashian is like a pro at breaking into like people's phones.
Really?
I think she's even admitted it herself that she's like an amazing detective. But yeah, I'm not really that girl that has digged into my dude's phone. Like I definitely do the peek, the Beyonce peek. I've done that. And I've never really seen anything kind of crazy. But oh my God, I don't know. I'm just emotionally unavailable men are real, you know? And I think it happens a lot because men are taught growing up, I don't care what culture you're from, men are taught like you're a man, you're a boy, you don't scream, you don't cry, because if you do, you're weak. And it's just like, dang, well, how are they even supposed to learn emotions? Yeah. Right? Like, how are they supposed to learn emotions and availability and healing? Nobody talks to men nowadays like, yo, have you healed from your father not being in your life? Have you healed from your ex-wife cheating on you? Like, men carry that over.
And they don't get the room to be able to be as open about it. It's almost like there's a stigma about them being emotionally open about it. Here's my thing, I'm gonna be honest. I recognize that for a lot of men that that's their story, that they have not healed. I used to feel that it was my job to stick with a man through his healing process. At this point in my life, I recognize that while there are men who haven't healed, there are men who as healed as you and I. Yeah. And so I'm no longer willing to sit there and be there with you through it, because the same way I chose to go into my own healing process, I chose to go into therapy, I chose to watch YouTube videos and things of that nature to get me to this point, they've had the same choice too. Yeah. So I'm no longer willing to excuse it and be like, well, that's okay, baby, I'll be by your side. I'll stick with you. No, I think it's easier to find a man who is what you want than it is to wait for a man to become what you want. Ooh, yeah, preach it, seriously. And another red flag in my experiences is if a man tells you, I'm freshly out of a relationship. Run. If a man tells you I'm freshly out of a relationship, listen, there's a lot of situations happening in that moment. He could either not be over his ex, they could still have communication. You could be the rebound, right? Or if you're just freshly out of a relationship, that person could be your rebound. But I would encourage you that if you meet somebody that's freshly out of a relationship, encourage them to heal. Yeah. Don't discard them from your life either, because they could heal. They could heal, and you know what? They could thank you later, like, you know what? Dang, I wasn't over her. Yeah. You know, thank you for being patient in my healing process. Don't stop your life. Don't stop yourself. Don't get in a relationship with them. Yeah. Don't be in a relationship with them, but don't stop your life and wait on this person like when they're ready. Just allow them space to heal, because a lot of times, I read something on Pinterest the other day that says, when you're not healed, you're basically like a cut person that's bleeding on people that haven't cut you. You know what I mean? You're out there bleeding on people that haven't even done anything to you. They want to love you, they want to appreciate you, but you're so hurt from your past situation that you're traumatized from that situation. And you're traumatizing other people. You're traumatizing other people, and you think that person that all they want to do is love you is going to play you. And you're just like, to me, that's been one of my greatest learning lessons in 2019 is
when somebody is freshly out of a relationship, you gotta heal. You gotta heal, allow them to heal before you jump into something with them, because you could end up hurt. You could end up hurt because they're hurt. And what do they say? Hurt people hurt people. So don't put yourself in that situation.
Let me ask you this. How do they follow you?
Follow me on Instagram, Roxy's World, and I spell Roxy very uniquely, RAQCS. So it's Roxy's World. Yeah, follow me on Instagram. I'm on Snapchat. I love snapping. Snapping is like one of my favorite platforms.
I need to start snapping. I think I have a Snapchat, but I don't use it. So I'm gonna start doing it.
Yeah,
first.
my Snapchat handle is on my Instagram bio, and yeah, just like hit me up, holler at me, send me a DM, and I just encourage all of you guys to just take a break from relationships if you gotta heal, because once you really get to know like what works for you, what you will tolerate, what you won't tolerate, you're eventually gonna attract that person. You're gonna be like, dang, Roxy's advice was on point.
Yeah.
I gotta heal, because I was that girl.
Yeah.
I was like relationship to relationship to relationship.
Me too.
And so I got tired of myself.
The best way to get over, this is what I used to say, the best way to get over a man was to get under a new one. That's what I used to do.
But what if I like to ride? Can I get on top?
Yeah, that too. That's the best way. That way you can control it, hit the spot better. But look at this, y'all. This is my shirt. It says no boy zone. In 2020, we are no boy zone. So you can go to my page, www.shopmjharris.com.
Ooh, I gotta rock that.
Yes, I'm gonna send you one.
Yes.
And so you get it there. Thank you for being on, baby.
Love you.
I love you too. You're the best. And y'all make sure y'all follow her. She's amazing.
So is he. So is he. I hope this is not the last time we record a video. You are freaking amazing.
Love you.